convert the language of the document to English, but it will not assess the comparability of the academic background. It's just a word-for-word translation. Whereas an evaluation analyzes the educational significance of your credential and describes it in US comparable terms. So some applicants will need both. If you have been educated in a country where the primary language of instruction or where your documents are not provided to you in English, a translation would be needed to conduct the evaluation, but it would be informing the evaluation. It wouldn't serve as the evaluation itself. So both services can be important, but they answer different questions. So again, we've spoken about this already, so I'm going to jump through this, but why do you need one? It's the education systems are different around the world. As an example, if you are in Mexico, for instance, and you have the bachillerato, a lot of folks in the US who don't speak any language other than English might look at that and think it's equivalent to a bachelor's degree, not equivalent to secondary school. The evaluation is going to help define things like that for them. As a teacher, you'll typically need a course-by-course evaluation. There are two primary types, and this is the terms we use at Alianza. There may be differing terms at other credential evaluation companies, but in general, the outcome is the same. A document-by-document evaluation is a general summary of your credential, institution, and overall US comparability. So it will say you got a master's degree, it's equivalent to a master's degree, but it will not provide detail such as your individual courses, your US credit equivalents, grades, or your GPA. That's the course-by-course evaluation. That's the one the vast majority of J-1 teachers need, because departments of education will look to see what content and courses you took within your program. They'll want to see when you had student teaching, if it was in your program, or some sort of placement or internship that demonstrates that you, in the academic program you were in, received some sort of practical training and experience within the program. So the course-by-course evaluation can provide all that detail, but the document-by-document wouldn't. So for IAG J1 teacher applicants, the course-by-course is the safest choice. Who uses the credential evaluation? Again, I've covered this a few times, but it's good to know it gets used multiple occasions throughout your cycle of obtaining employment in the United States. In the case of Alianza, they're valid for 5 years. So after you get it, you can continue to use it. We provide additional copies via email for free anytime during that 5-year cycle. So it does wind up being something frequently we have folks call back and ask for, because they were at a point where they applied with IAG, then they needed the visa, and then they needed employment. IAG typically provides all of that provides the FCE once you've provided it to them throughout the process. But if it's needed from us directly, we can provide it. What an evaluation is and isn't, this is a key detail for folks. So what it does do is it compares your credential to the US system, as I've mentioned. It gives the licensing boards a professional common reference point to understand what your education equates to or is comparable to in US terms. It often is required for certification. What it doesn't do is as important as what it does do. It doesn't grant you the teacher certification. It can't grant you work authorization or visa status on its own. It doesn't replace exams, background checks, state requirements. It doesn't guarantee acceptance by anyone either. It is an advisory opinion from any evaluation company you go to in the country. If they are telling you they guarantee acceptance, it might be an overstatement, because it's really subjective. It's subjective to the receiving entity. That doesn't mean that we can't say we know it's accepted by that entity, but if they're promising you a guarantee it's accepted by everybody, I don't know how they'd make that promise, because frankly, I don't know of any organization that can actually prove that. So it's important to know it grants certification. It doesn't grant certification. It tells them why they should certify you. It tells them what your academic background is. So as Adalberto pointed out at the beginning of the presentation, completing a credential evaluation is a required step in the IAG process. So we're AICE endorsed. Our professional evaluations are why IAG trusts us as a partner to provide them the accurate information that they need to help their applicants move forward. So we are very honored, frankly, to be a partner to IAG in this effort. And one of the things we love as a company, particularly our staff, frankly, is to be able to know that we help someone achieve the goal they're looking for. So let's talk about what happens after you apply. If you were to apply with Alianza, you'd submit the application online. You would receive a confirmation email that it had been submitted. A member of our staff would review your file to its completeness and identify what your needs are and what your educational background is. And then we would send you instruction to request official documentation. So in many cases, folks who apply think that they already have the official documentation because you received it from your university or college. You have the original documents they gave you. But the scanned copy you give us, we can't treat as the official documentation or the original documentation based on the scanned copy. And what's needed varies from country to country. For example, if you're in the Philippines, we'll need your transcript of records. If you are in various countries in Africa, we may need WIAC scores in addition to your academic background or your post-secondary background. It'll vary from country to country. So in that step 4 you see there, after we've reviewed your file, we're going to send you an email and say, here's the documentation we still need and how to go about getting it so that you know exactly what we need and how we can have you ask for it and send it to us. And actually, you won't send it to us. You're going to ask your institution to send it on your behalf. If it's something we can verify electronically, we do. If there's a QR code that will provide us the verification we need, we'll use it. But in some cases, we do have to ask folks to send us the explicit documentation and have their institution send it to us. So your institution sends the documents to us. The documents are verified and the evaluation begins. And then the evaluation is completed within around 15 business days after we receive whatever the last document we need is. It's delivered to you and directly to IAG at the same time in the same email, generally within about 3 weeks of receiving all the documentation. So again, I want to reiterate, as an IAG applicant, it goes directly to them, so they'll get it when you get it as well. Documents that are usually needed vary from country to country. Another reason that we will tell you explicitly what we need from you. But in broad terms, we will need your degree, certificate, or diploma. We will need your academic transcript. If you took a teacher prep program, we might need some additional information related to your teacher prep program as well, although that's not necessary all the time. We will also potentially ask you for a copy of your professional teaching license. We will, if documents aren't provided in English and you're not asking us to also translate the documents, then we will require certified English translation from you as well. But as it says there on the bottom, the requirements vary by country, institution, and credential level, which is why in general, this is what's needed, but it will vary in your specific instance because the requirements can be as varied as the individuals applying. What makes an evaluation reliable and valuable? Not all evaluations are the same. A reliable evaluation is grounded in professional standards. In the US, there are 2 professional standards boards. There's AICE and there's NACES, that's spelled NACES. We are an AICE member. That doesn't mean that there aren't credible evaluation companies that are neither of those, but in some cases it does mean that it's more difficult for their evaluations to be accepted by the agencies you want to send them to. So it's grounded in the professional standards to ensure it's credible. It's backed by documented research and methodology. It's consistent and transparent in its conclusions. In our evaluation, top of the page, in a box all its own, we will say what we think your education is comparable to. If it's a bachelor's degree in education, if it's a master's degree in secondary education or biology or whatever it might be, we will state it right up front. It's built on careful review of your documentation and analysis of the education system and standards. And it's valuable not only because we provide all of that rigor to putting the document together, but it's valuable when it's accepted by the agency requesting it. In this instance, for example, IAG will be the first step that is using it, and IAG does accept Alianza evaluation. That said, there are some common mistakes that get made and can cause delay to the process. And so I want to give you a few of those tips as well so that you can avoid them, frankly. Sending us the documents before you've applied or received instructions. We have folks on occasion send us the documents, but we don't have an application to put them with, or they request their institution send the document, but we don't have an application to put them with, and we don't know how to connect it to an application. So it just gets filed away. And then it might require a restart to that process. Also requesting the wrong documents. So that can be a problem for us, or ordering the wrong type of evaluation. In full transparency, the document by document evaluation, because it doesn't include that detail, is cheaper than the course by course evaluation. However, it won't meet the needs that you have for the agency you want to send it to. So some folks actually choose to order the document by document because it's a lower cost. And then we have to message them and say we have to convert it to a course by course. So know what type you need for the purpose you're using it for. Incomplete or inaccurate information. If you have completed a bachelor's and a master's, but you only provide us the bachelor's, that can cause a delay when we have to go back and then add the master's to it. Asking the institution to send the document to you rather than to us, and then you forwarding an email to us. In some instances, that will cause us to have to go back and ask them to do it again because it needs to come directly to us so that there's no potential for it to have changed hands. Or it's missing translations and we need a translation of the document. These are things that can all cause delay to the process and are, as it says there on the screen, some of the easiest to avoid. So we suggest folks apply well in advance of when they think they're going to need it. It is valid for 5 years. Follow the country-specific and in some cases institution-specific instructions we provide to you so that you can ensure that you have time for the process and so that all of the process is completed with as little delay as possible for you. So if you're applying with us, if you choose to apply with Alianza for the purpose of applying to IAG, you would reach out to contact IAG first. We do offer a discounted evaluation for IAG applicants. Our standard price for the course-by-course evaluation is $225. But if you are an IAG applicant, it is discounted to $150. So it is $75 off of the standard price. So you would reach out to IAG at recruitment@iagusa.org and say, hey, I'm an applicant of yours, or I want to apply with you all. May I please have the password to get the discounted evaluation? They'll give you that password. You would then apply using our dedicated IAG applicant page. In a little bit, I'll show you the link to the QR through a QR code to that page. That provides the instructions similar to what I'm speaking through today on a single sheet of our website. But you want to use the application link on the IAG applicant page to ensure you get the discount. If you apply through our regular application portal, it's going to charge you standard price. So I strongly recommend you get the password and use the IAG applicant page on our Alianza site. Once you apply, wait for our instructions. We'll email you the country-specific documents we need. Ask for those documents quickly on the heels of us giving you that instruction so that your institution can get the ball rolling. And then have them send it directly to us, which we'll say in our email as well, how they can provide it to us. Once we have all of that, it'll be about 3 weeks from that time to the time that it's completed and you receive the evaluation. Again, down here, you have the IAG contact is an email to recruitment@iagusa.org to request the password, or if you're wanting to read more information and apply, if you're already ready to do that and have the password, then use our Alianza page here on the bottom. Additional resources. So here are some additional things that Alianza application for IAG clients use our dedicated page that I just mentioned. We have a comprehensive guide to credential evaluation under our blog on our website that's available to you all, and it will give you far more detail, frankly, than you'll probably ever need on the process. But you can look at the information there just to reinforce the information I've provided here. And then there's also a required documents page on our website. Document requirements vary based on your level of education and where you studied, when you studied, as I've said multiple times in the presentation so far. We do have some country-specific information on the bottom of that page. If your country is not listed on the bottom of that page, that doesn't mean we don't know what we need to ask of you. It just means we haven't posted it on our website at this time. So we will share that via email, and we can share that with you as well if you contact us. These two QR codes should take you to the application and additional resources. And if not, I can provide additional links if you have any trouble with the QR code. Questions we hear most often, because everyone's going to have questions based on this process. What documents do I need? Which I've spoken to. What if my documents aren't in English? Again, we will require a translation that generally needs to come from, it's a word-for-word translation. If your institution can provide it with your documents, that's a great way to get it. And several institutions don't charge for that. They'll just provide it for you. If you don't want to go through your institution, then we would need it to be a recognized translator. It can't just be you translating it yourself or using Google to translate it. It needs to be a recognized translation company, or you can ask us to do it for an additional fee if you wish to. Can you call with questions? I suggest everybody use our email. It's typically the fastest way, and it also ensures that if it's a week before you act on whatever was discussed in that communication, you can refer back to it rather than having to remember back to what we said. We do have a phone number and do take phone calls, but it would be more effective and efficient to use our email and contact us. And the email is literally contact us, all one word, at alianzaeval.com. Official versus original documents. The original documents were issued to you directly. They're the ones you got from the institution when you graduated, your initial diploma or mark sheets. The official documents are sent or verified directly by the institution or issuing authority. So we would consider them official when they're sent directly by the issuing authority to us. I've already mentioned the timeline, but that's frequently a question. Once we have all documentation, it's about 3 weeks. And then which states accept our evaluation? It's over half the nation and growing. We're through either our own name or by virtue of being an AICE member accepted in over 26 states. At this point, most all of the states that IAG operates in accepts our evaluation as well in terms of at their Department of Education. You may have other questions, and I've prattled on a little while here, but I would like to open up the floor if we can do that, Adalberto or Fabiola, for any additional questions we may have. We'd be happy to take whatever questions you have and answer what we can.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Scott, for this presentation. We have one person, I think, opening his microphone. I think also Miss Marlene, she's sharing the contact information. Yeah, there are additional questions after this session. Oh, we have Lepacia Arnold. Yes, please.
Lepacia Arnold. Okay. Thanks for the presentation. Are you getting me?
I can hear you. Yes, thank you for being here.
Yes. Thanks for the presentation. I already have my credential evaluation done by Joseph Sini and associates. I hope the credential evaluation from Joseph Sini is okay.
If it were, I think that's a question for Adalberto, but to my understanding, yes, Joseph Silney would be accepted by IAG as an evaluation company. I think the part I'm not clear on, Adalberto, and I don't know if you can speak to it, is if there's a timeline for that. Like, do you guys take them no matter how old they are?
Yes, it will
Okay.
need to be a recent evaluation.
Yeah,
Here
but
okay.
the evaluation has not expired because it states that it's supposed to be 5 years.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes, that's correct.
then that would be fine. If you have that evaluation from them, IAG would accept that. And frankly, many state departments of ed would also accept that as well.
Okay. Then the second question is as a application for 20, are you people still accepting application for 2026, 2027?
Adalberto, I think
Oh,
that's an
yes.
IAG.
Thank you. Thank you. And in that case, Mr. Lipacia, you will need to complete our updated application is the 2728. You will need to return to our IAG platform. You will see the link to the application. You will need to complete again our 2728 application and submit all your updated documents. And one of them is the foreign credential evaluation. So I will also put here the information or the link to our application position, okay? But yes, you need to complete our current application that is for the academic year 2027-28.
Hey, and I see a question in there that I think is related to AZ ICE and asking whether AZ ICE is still accepted. Yes, if anyone has an evaluation, if that's what the question is, if anyone has an evaluation from us prior to our name change, those are still accepted as well. So yes. They are still valid for the same 5-year period. So I see a question also from Bonifacio Tan, and that you're in the midst of your master's degree and will probably complete it later this year, but want to start applying within this month. Do I need to do another credential evaluation or can it just be updated? It can be updated, but it will have an additional fee at that point if you do that. We can't just continuously update them without an additional fee. So ultimately, if you were to apply with us today, for example, and we completed it for you shortly, and then you graduated in December, when you wanted to come back and add that additional education, there would be an additional fee involved in the evaluation at that time. We regularly have people do that. They complete a bachelor's and then apply to us, and then they complete a master's and come back to have us refresh it. Or as I mentioned, it's valid for 5 years. We have folks who have taught under other visas than the J-1 generally in the United States for longer than the 5-year time that would be valid. And they have to come back and request a revised or updated evaluation.
Just for further information, you can also, if your master's is almost complete and you have a lot of credits and courses already, we can add those already, even though you do not have your final diploma or degree certificate, which might help you in the hiring process. So that can be done too.
Thank you very much, Sabine. This is Sabine Bachner. She is one of our, she's a senior evaluator on our team and always looking to help every applicant achieve what they're striving towards within the bounds of our standards, of course. Okay. Are there any other questions? I'm looking to see if there's any others here. Let me just say this. I see that we have a comment from Carolina saying that she's already started the process on our website, so which is great. Thank you very much. I do want to say, if you have any challenges with the application portal, if you have challenges with understanding the information, again, as I've said before, part of our goal is to make it as clear and as pain-free as it's possible to do. It's a very bureaucratic process. It requires an awful lot of steps. We try to make that as painless as we can. Feel free to reach out to us and ask if you have questions, and we will strive to answer them so that you have clarity on it. Information you would normally need in the application just to go along with that, in addition to your demographics, your name, your email, your contact information, obviously we would want information related to where you went to school. Are you attending, what country, what institution, what program, what years, generally is what we would need for any education that we're going to evaluate. Also, if you know that the documentation is under a different name than you are applying under today, we will probably ask you for documentation explaining the name change or verifying the name change. So if you have a marriage certificate or something else along those lines, we may ask you for that as well. Okay.
I see that
Well,
Carolina has, she's saying that she did not receive any information for the next steps. Carolina, are you referring to applying to IAG or applying to Alianza? Because I don't see a record for Carolina and Alianza.
Miss Carolina, you can also open your microphone in case you would like to make a question or just for clarification for Miss Sabine.
Or you can always email us
Yeah.
afterwards, and then we'll respond via email.
Just in case there was a question for IAG process, I'm also adding the email, the contact information, so you can contact us via our official email. So again, just to remember, IAG has this Reach USA program. It gives you the opportunity to be a teacher for the preschool level, elementary, secondary levels in the US for a period of time of 3 to 5 years. And one of the requirements, one of the basic requirements is for you to demonstrate that you have the preparation and you have also the coursework completed in your home country to be a teacher. So you will need to have a foreign credential evaluation. This is a very, very important piece of your application. Alianza Academic Evaluators, they are the experts on completing this process, this foreign credential evaluation. They're sharing their contact information, also their website, and also because of this collaboration that they have with International Alliance Group, they have a special rate for you. This is very, very important. You won't pay the same amount of another teacher applying for another activity in the US. This is especially for those IAG applicants or IAG teachers. They have this special rate and they are going to be sharing all the steps so you can get this benefit that we have this morning for you.
Thank you very much, Adalberto. I do want to say to the room at large, thank you all very much for being here. We one of the reasons none of us on the Alianza team or IAG for that matter, but the Alianza team isn't here because we can make a crazy amount of money or something along those lines. We're here because we really enjoy the process of what we do and enjoy the fact that people benefit from the work we do. So hopefully we can be a help in your process. As somebody who is a parent of a small child, I know that there's a dire need for more high quality teachers in the United States. And our goal in Alianza is to help you get your education recognized in a manner that the United States individuals can understand when they're looking at it in their various roles and functions. Thank you very much for letting us take some of your time. Thank you very much, Adalberto and IAG, for helping us put this webinar together and present this information. We really appreciate it. You have two entities to contact. You have the recruitment email that's in the chat right now for IAG, and then you can also contact us at the email you see on the bottom of the screen there. And we partner very well with IAG and look forward to continuing to do so. So let us know if you have any questions. But thank you very much for your time, and thank you, IAG, for having us today.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell, and thank you to your team. We hope you found this session interesting, helpful for your application to your foreign credential evaluation. And thank you again, once again. We hope we can see you here in the US for the academic year 2027-28. Thank you very much.